We'll just open it up for questions for Coach Painter.
Matt, over here to your left, please. I've watched several of your games this year. That defensive intensity your guys had, even in a loss, I think you have to be pretty proud of that. Is it pretty accurate?
Well, I thought, they were just so much quicker to the basketball than us when they got loose. I thought we would do some good things, have some good defensive stops, but what does it mean if you can't get the rebound? And so I think that really deflated us at times. They get an offensive rebound, McQuaid would hit a three. They get a team rebound that would go out on us, and then they would, execute an offensive play and score. So you got to be able to finish plays. And the one thing Michigan State is going to do is they do a great job of embracing the physicality of the game. You have to learn to be able to match that without fouling and getting them to the free throw line, and also being able to kind of disengage from it and be able to go get the basketball. And they were better than us at that.
Matt, with 4 minutes left in the first half, Winston hadn't scored, and he leads that charge 1 and a half time. Just that stretch of the game, how decisive does that end up?
Oh, he's a really good player, and he was him and Nick were a big key to our game plan. Trying to bottle up Nick with some double teams, and then trying to just wear him down, just have a guard come up and pick him up and make him handle the basketball as much as we could to make it hard. But he does a great job, and he's crafty of breaking you down and scoring for himself and creating things for his teammates. So you got to give him credit. I thought he was from an individual standpoint, he was the difference tonight for them.
When you got within 4 with 11:22 to go, what went wrong after that you couldn't get any closer?
A little bit of everything. Cassius Winston had a lot to do with that. Not being able to get some stops, being able to get rebounds, and it was hard for us to get any continuity on either end tonight. To be honest with you, we do some good things, but we just weren't consistent enough getting stops or getting rebounds, or making shots. We're going to have to shoot the ball better, but with that, we got to make better decisions. I thought when we probed the defense, which didn't happen enough, and we moved the basketball, we got better shots. And then when we kind of settled for threes and some tough threes, obviously, the outcome was, a lot of times a miss.
Matt, Carson Edwards obviously has had a great year, but what happened tonight with him?
Well, I think he kind of guarded himself, to be honest with you. I think Michigan State's one of the best team defensive groups that you'll see out there. But I thought when it didn't go his way, sometimes you got to be a little bit more patient, get to the free throw line more, get to the rim a little bit more. And if they're not going to let you, do that, then kind of move the basketball. And he gets into these stretches. He's a very confident and a very talented player. And at times he doesn't let things come to him. And then when he starts to press, he makes it worse. So he's always kind of went in and out of this in his career, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, he's going to shoot 44% from 3 and 50% from 2 and 80% from the line. But he has such high peaks. Sometimes he'll have a game like this about every 3 weeks, to where like he just wants it so bad, he just starts pressing. And then you get into a tough environment with a good defensive team already, and it makes it even worse. So, but he always responds, and he's a very competitive guy, and basketball means something to him. So, I know he'll respond to this.
Can you comment on a player that Williams did?
Oh, he was great. He's lost 45 pounds since he's been at our place. So, his struggle has been getting into shape when he got onto campus, and just kind of pushing his way through. And he's kept a great attitude, and he's kept playing. And sometimes like this, you look at a game and you're like, what do you get at it? And our silver lining is him. He's waited his turn. He's played a couple times. We had a guy get hurt and then not play in the second half, and he was the only guy that I felt was, could get a rebound with Michigan State. And when you're going to be competitive and be physical in this league, you need guys like that. So I'm excited about it. I think he's going to be a really good player in our league.
To go back to Carson, basically, what did you see them do to just take away driving? It seemed like they made at least some attempts to probe the defense.
Yeah, I thought their help was good. And you get that way. The one thing with Carson is that he gets that way, that he'll try to split help. Try to knife through that. And a lot of times guys that are strong and quick like that, you can have some success with it. But I thought Michigan State did a really good job of kind of closing down on those gaps and not letting him get in. And a couple of those, shots or turnovers that he had to get that out of his hand. He had to get that ball moving. Anytime you can get two people on the ball in basketball, the ball's got to move, and it's got to move quick. And when you try to split them, especially against that kind of strength, you're going to end up in some tough shots and some turnovers. So you have to give them credit. It's something that obviously, we knew would happen. But when you get out there, you got to be able to make that decision.
What happened to Boudreaux?
He said his groin. He hurt his groin. in the first half, so he couldn't go in the second half.
Matt McQuaid was the guy who, for much of the game, was on Carson. What you saw, get into what you saw?
Man, I didn't even know that. He's a good player. You know, he's worked really hard. When he first came in the league, you could tell from just a competitive standpoint, you know, that he's a guy that's going to help them win. And the one thing that, you know, Coach Izzo has done here with guys is it's not on one end of the court. You know, you're not just going to come in, you're going to be our shooter, and that's going to be it. You know, he's a good player. That's why I told our guys about his ability to drive. Like, he can drive to his left, kind of shoot a floater with his right hand. He can make shots. He's tough. But guys like that sacrifice, you know, to help a team. A lot of those guys do. You know Goins, you know, sacrifices. You know, they do a lot of the dirty work that helped this team win. And tonight, you know, he did a good job on him. But I also thought their team did a good job. Like, when he was driving, seemed like there was always 2 or 3 people kind of sitting there waiting on him. And that's kind of kudos to those guys, because they really sacrificed and become a great team.
Matt, this is a young team.
Mm-hmm.
Without the great performance from your star player,
Right.
to be as close as it was for 35, 36
Right.
minutes, kind of what does that say about the strength of this team?
Yeah, but it's, you know, we've really fought hard in this league to try to stay in the top half of our league and try to win the league. You know, obviously, 2 years ago we won the league. Last year we won more games, but we still, you know, Michigan State still won the league last year. So we fought really hard not to be competitive. You know what I mean? Like, you say, you know, they're going to come in here and give you a good fight. We want to come in here and win. And so that's what I talked about, you know, those guys. And, you know, I'm glad every one of those guys are in our locker room, but, you know, tonight it wasn't good enough. You know, they were physically and mentally tougher than we were. And so that's where we leave it. You know, now we go to Wisconsin on Friday night. You know, we got to do a better job in those areas if we expect to compete with those guys and try to get a win. But the ultimate goal is to win. You know, we didn't win tonight. So, you know, I'm happy for him, but we don't get judged on that. We get judged on wins.
Last one right here.
Matt, you mentioned trying to be physical.
Bless you.
Bless you. You mentioned about trying to be physical with both Ward and Winston.
Right.
What were they able to do to maybe play through some of the contact and some of the physicality?
Well, you know, we wanted to double Nick as much as we could. But you also can't allow them to go high-low all the time where Nick's right at the basket. You know, Nick's done a really good job of getting his body in shape. And he's worked hard. You know, he runs the court. You know, he's doing, you know, more things now to help his cause, to put himself in better post-up position. So we just wanted to try to keep him away from the rim. And if we didn't double him, we wanted him into a post move instead of a dunk or a layup or getting free throw line. And we missed on a couple times when we should have doubled. But he's not the only player on their team. That's what's tough. You know, we've obviously had a lot of success with big guys. When people would double us, sometimes it's the best thing for us. You know, and so you got to be careful when you go to get them. You got to double them, but you got to have a good quick double. And so that's what we tried to do. And, you know, obviously he got in a little bit of foul trouble in the second half, so we didn't play quite as much. But Nick, we got a lot of respect for him. He's worked really hard, and but we just didn't want him. You know, no layups, no dunks, no free throws. You know, if he could make a post move or two, or we could double him a lot, and then we could try to get him frustrated, and you know, hopefully that could help us. And I thought in stretches we did. We just weren't good enough rebounding the basketball. We weren't good in those other areas that I mentioned.
And that was the same plan with Winston too, try and use.
Yeah, we just try to wear him down. You know, just try to wear him down. Get into a close game, you know, he's had to bring the ball up, versus pressure all the game, but we do that anyways, though. This isn't something different. Like, you know, we pick up the point guard versus everybody we play, and we try to wear that guy down and just not let them get into offense as clean as they like to get into offense. We just got to do a better job of containing him and bottling him up and not allowing clean passes. So, all right, thanks.
Thank you. Travion Williams, Ryan Klein, and Carson Edwards will be available outside our lot.